Hi guys, welcome in if you are a first time viewer. Welcome back if you are a returning viewer. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your subscribes, and to those of you who have booked a personal reading with me. Please keep in mind that these are general messages, so do not take them personally. Take the messages that resonate and leave the rest behind. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can find that information in the description box below. So let's get into this reading. Happy full moon, guys. I hope that you got a chance to go out and kind of meditate under the full moon. What messages do you have for the collective at this time regarding the energies surrounding the full moon in Libra? Help me to articulate a clear and concise message in order for it to be received in the way that you want it to best be received. Help me to see what it is I need to see to get the message across as clear as possible. And help me to deliver any messages that you deem worthy in order to serve your highest good, for the highest good of humanity, with harm to none. What messages do you have for the collective at this time regarding the full moon in Libra? Okay. The full moon in Libra is bringing in, first of all, this is also Venus coming out of retrograde at this time, right? And also the Mercury retrograde shadow period is coming to an end. So there's a lot of communication like surrounding beauty, love, relationships, connections, right? If you're into astrology, kind of look up what Venus coming out of retrograde means for you, right? But in the reading, I'm seeing that there's something that you are getting ready to have to face when it comes to relationships, right? There's something that you are going to have to kind of, it's almost as if like something that you have been avoiding. So maybe you've been avoiding coming into connection with something, but this is requiring an expansion on your part, a growth on your part, right? Where you're expanding your circle. Maybe you're expanding business partnerships. Maybe you're expanding the community that you reach. Maybe you're expanding your friendship circle. Maybe you're expanding your romantic relationships. Maybe you are getting in touch with extended family members or family members that you have lost contact with, right? In whatever sense this is going to resonate for you. There, regarding relationships, you are coming out of this place of solitude, right? You are stepping into a place where you're being asked to kind of approach these connections from more of a grounded standpoint, from more of an understanding perspective, as opposed to running away from your fears, right? This is whatever fears that you have been facing, or whatever fears you have been running away from, are really being brought to the forefront as you are like being asked to kind of face some things that you have been trying to turn a blind eye to, or maybe you've been trying to avoid certain things regarding relationships. Maybe you prefer to be alone. But this energy is really calling you to kind of connect, to bond, to come into union, right? With those other aspects regarding other people, right? Because you have a sense of empathy, right? You have the ability to kind of relate to other people. It's not even about This energy is less about you and more so how you affect other people, right? Because in this new space that you're going into, there's something that you will bring to these relationships that is needed to kind of help expand and to help grow your life and those you touch as well, right? So you're definitely being asked to kind of look outside of yourself and to be willing to kind of grow your mind, grow your perspective, grow your sense of forgiveness, grow your sense of willingness, grow your sense of awareness when it comes to other people and how you bond and connect in those instances, right? Because if you prefer to be in a space of solitude, then it's almost as if like you're blocking your own blessings, right? Because by blessing other people, you ultimately in return naturally are blessed, right? It's almost like a use it or lose it situation, right? You're the blessing to other people, therefore you in return are able to maintain your blessing, right? But if you're just harboring the blessing for yourself, that's like a selfishness energy, right? Therefore, you're not using the blessing that was given for you to bless other people, right? This can be your sense of peace. This can be like your sense of courage. This can be your sense of motivation or inspiration that you give to other people. Maybe you inspire other people to go after their dreams, or maybe you kind of help them to see things from different perspectives. Whatever it is that you do for other people, that blessing was placed in you to be a blessing to others. And if you're not using it as a blessing to others, then you're almost kind of harboring the gift for yourself. Therefore, placing yourself in a sense of stagnation, right? Because if the frequency, if the currency is not flowing, then it becomes stagnant. Therefore, it begins to depreciate in that sense, right? You're not equally investing it in the way that it's meant to be invested. So let's pull some tarot to clarify this message. Although I feel like this one is pretty clear. You're definitely stepping out of this place of solitude. This full moon is enlightening you in the ways in which, in the areas in which you need to kind of become more comfortable or step into this place of uncomfortability where you are being required to, again, remove yourself from this place of solitude. You're being placed on the forefront. To invest your blessings in order to continue to expand, right? Your investment. Clarify empathy. The Queen of Swords and the Eight of Cups, right? So again, you have a perspective. Oh, okay. It's almost as if like this is more so you coming out as a sense of, this is like therapist energy, right? Not necessarily saying that you yourself are a therapist, but again, like you have this ability to kind of give people the advice they need to kind of help them move forward from a place in which they're no longer benefiting from, they're no longer able to grow from, right? You kind of help them to see and understand the ways in which the space in which they're existing is doing more harm than good, right? So you give them another perspective. You may be able to deliver truth in a way that is not harmful, but again, it's beneficial, and it helps them to grow. It helps them to heal. It helps them to understand. It helps them to expand their consciousness, their awareness, their emotional sense of self, right? Their sense of self-love, right? Whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you speak, whatever it is that you see, right? It helps to transform other people. And that's why you're being called on the forefront, right? Because if you're placed in a sense of solitude, right, where you're not surrounded by other people, then you're not able to give them that voice. You're not able to give them that perspective, right? Because you're not placing yourself in those scenarios. Clarify courage. But again, this is also for you because the Ten of Wands and the Star, you have a responsibility. This, like when you're given a gift, when you're given a talent, when you're giving a mission, when you are aware of your purpose, you have a responsibility or a duty to carry that mission out, right? You have a responsibility and a duty to follow through with that purpose, right? So you're not given a gift just to harbor it for yourself, right? That gift is meant for the betterment and for the good of everybody that you touch, everybody that you come into contact with, whether that's a random stranger that you meet on the street or a random cashier at the grocery store or a random person that you meet at an event that you attend, right? You have a responsibility. Maybe this is a lifelong friend, right? Again, maybe this is a romantic connection. It's going to resonate for each of you differently. But speaking of relationships in general, you have a duty to kind of help release the burden of kind of like the shadow aspects, right? You have a way of freeing people from the shackles that keep them bound, right? This may be addictions. This may be bad habits, right? This may be encouraging them to remove themselves from environments that are placing them in these dark places, right? This may be giving people the courage and giving people that glimpse of hope that life is not always so negative, right? You have a responsibility. You have a duty to kind of help heal, to kind of reinstate hope in other people, right? To spread faith, right? To show them what it's like to walk in your faith, right? And the responsibility that comes along with those things, right? The responsibility that comes with manifestation. The responsibility that comes with removing yourself from a dark place, right? Pulling yourself out of a place of lack, pulling yourself out of a place of greed, pulling yourself out of a place or relationships or connections that are pulling you down, releasing the frequency of stagnancy, right? Again, you reinstate flow. You provide or you like open up doorways through walking in your faith, right? And again, you have a responsibility to use that blessing to be a blessing to other people, right? To show them the power that lies in vulnerability, right? To show them the strength that comes with maintaining a close connection with your emotions, right? Remaining grounded, not allowing yourself to get carried away with your emotions, but allowing yourself to connect with them, allowing yourself to accept them, right? Allowing yourself to kind of face the negative emotions that you may be having that may feel overwhelming sometimes, or that may make you feel like a resistance to carrying on, right? Again, you provide that sense of courage. Clarify loneliness. The Six of Wands. The Two of Pentacles with the Hermit. Yeah. It's almost as if you have a choice to make, right? Either you step forward in your blessing, either you step forward in your faith, either you come out of this hermit shell, you remove the cloak and you reveal yourself, you step out of this place of solitude, right? And you achieve all of the things. This is you achieving success. This is you leading other people on the path to success, right? But you can't do that if you maintain the space of solitude, right? And so you can choose whatever path that you want to choose. But again, this full moon is bringing that sense of enlightenment of you have a choice, but you also have to be aware of the path that you will put yourself on based on the choice that you make, right? So if you choose to maintain the space of solitude, then you're only placing yourself in a space of depreciation, right? Because you then will harbor that energy that's meant to be shared, that's meant to create a flow state. You will harbor this energy. You will block yourself from achieving this abundance in which you're trying to receive, because you're not investing in the wealth in which you are trying to receive, right? You're not expanding in that sense, right? So you have to be willing to expand. You have to be willing to grow. You have to be willing to kind of put yourself in this place of vulnerability in order to receive the strength in that area, right? You can't strengthen a weakness if you aren't willing to expose yourself to the work that needs to be done in order to strengthen that muscle, right? So again, you have a choice, but it's also like staying stagnant in this place of solitude is only going to cause your blessings to kind of depreciate in a sense. Not that you will be less blessed, but there won't be any growth and expansion. There won't be, you won't be fulfilling your purpose. You won't be in a place where you're able to kind of expand and grow and reach this level of abundance in which you're trying to achieve, right? It's almost as if staying in this place of solitude is blocking you from the blessings in which you wish to achieve, as opposed to stepping out of this place of solitude, stepping out of this place and walking towards this level of success, right? Walking towards this is almost like I'm seeing like someone standing on a stage, right? This card always brings me to someone who's on a stage, who is like a motivational speaker, who is a leader, who's a teacher, right? Who's someone who guides people on a path to success, right? Through their teachings, through their journeys. It's almost as if you kind of help teach people how to transform energy. But in order to teach people how to transform energy, you yourself have to practice that, right? You yourself have to practice transforming energy before you can get up in front of other people and tell them how to do it, right? Why would you want to learn from somebody who has no experience in what they're teaching you? So you see the star here on the Hermit's chest, right? And the stars here. You have a, it's almost as if like your soul came here with a purpose. Your soul came here with a mission to fulfill this journey, right? To fulfill this purpose, to follow through with this, mission, right? You have a duty, a responsibility to carry out. Your soul has a duty to carry out. And it's almost as if like you're being encouraged to kind of step into the forefront, right? Come out of this place of solitude. That place of solitude is no longer beneficial for you, right? You're having to step out of your shell. So let's pull 4 cards. 1 card for what we can learn as a major lesson surrounding this message. 1 card for the opportunities we can create surrounding this message. 1 card for what we can meditate on as the focus of this message. And 1 card for the new cycles and habits we can innovate to contribute to our growth and expansion surrounding this message. This is a lesson for you, right? To, again, step out of a place of comfortability, right? You may be comfortable in this place of solitude. You may have been running this business by yourself for so long. You may have been on this journey by yourself for so long. You may have had a few close friends and you didn't really care to expand your friendship circle. Or you may have been involved in a specific circle of your community where now you're being called to kind of expand your outreach within this community, right? You're definitely being called to step out of your comfortability so that you are able to expand not only yourself, but the blessings in which you receive by blessing other people, right? It's time to expand. It's time to grow. It's time to Allow your love to touch other people. Allow your insight, allow your perspective, allow your truth to kind of touch other people who you may not have been open to in the past, right? Maybe you've been single for a long time and now you're being called to step out of this place of singleness and to kind of come into union with someone who will balance you out, right? Will help you to see perspectives within yourself that you may be blind to, right? Because again, blessing other people will in effect help to bless you too. So you connecting with other people outside of what you're comfortable with will kind of help you to see your blind spots. They will help you to see areas in which you need to grow, right? In order to help other people grow, right? It's a balancing effect, right? This is the Libra, where the full moon is in Libra, right? Libras represent the scales of justice, right? So this is law and order, things being brought to an even state. This is the karma in which you invest in will be returned back to you, right? All right, so one card for what we can learn as a major lesson surrounding this message. The wounded healer would speak up. Right. Exactly what I just said. The lesson in this is to expand your outreach, to expand your teachings, to expand your learnings, to expand your voice, right? To expand who it is that you connect with and who you commune with, right? Who you bond yourself to. The 3-3, that's like coming into a place of, how can I put this into words? Creating that flow state, that sense of balance, right? This is you like forming a new cycle, forming a new habit, forming a new pathway, forming a new lesson, a new journey, right? In which you are expanding yourself, right? So again, this energy is only for your benefit, right? Again, it's your choice what you do with it. You can make the choice to stay in solitude, or you can make the choice to expand. But using this energy is only for the benefit of your growth, right? This is you knowing also how to transmute energy wisely, right? Using the resources that are available to you for your benefit. This energy is here for your benefit to help you grow and expand in the ways in which you've been asking, right? You've been asking for growth. You've been asking for expansion. You've been asking for wealth. You've been asking for intentionality, right? You've been asking for abundance. And in order to receive those things, you have to expand, you have to grow, right? Because abundance and wealth, those things come with openness. But you can't receive openness if you yourself are closed off, right? So what opportunities can we create surrounding this message? Feeling safe. This is also, again, right here, I'm sensing like this is also you healing yourself in this space of solitude, right? So maybe again, that comfortability, you feel most comfortable in this hermit energy, right? Maybe you are a hermit, so you feel more comfortable in that space of solitude. Maybe you feel like you receive more. Maybe you feel like more protected in that sense, right? But you have to heal that space of fear of opening up. You have to heal that fear of being open, being vulnerable, right? Because you have to expand your perspective of what protection looks like for you, right? I hope that makes sense. But the opportunities we can create, again, literally what I just said, expanding your sense of protection outside of just you, right? Self-sabotage. Don't block your own blessings, right? This is the opportunity to expand your wealth. This is the opportunity to create more stability, to create more security, to create more protection, right? To create more safety, right? To create more balance in your life, right? Where you are more steady, right? Steady does not mean stagnant. Steady means consistent, right? And consistency is a breeding ground for growth, right? And so stepping into this frequency will allow you the space to grow, right? The space to create a more bountiful harvest. But if you maintain this place of solitude, if you maintain this place of independence, then you're only going to ever be able to feed yourself, right? When abundance is the ability to help feed others around you as well, right? One card for what we can meditate on as the focus of this message. This is a very, very spiritual message. So 2 came out. You've got pleasure and brazen. Be bold. Be confident. Right? 11. Liberation. And then self-sabotage was back at the bottom of the deck. Right? So again, meditating on the freedom that comes with this expansion. Right? Meditate on the abundance, the joy that you will receive from opening yourself up. Right? Meditate on the new blessings that will come in, the new opportunities that will come in. Focus on building your confidence. Focus on building your courage in being vulnerable, in being open, in accepting that it's okay to make mistakes, right? That comes with a sense of freedom, right? You have to be willing to fall in order to really learn how to get back up, right? Not necessarily saying that you will fall in this sense, but it's the freedom of giving yourself the space to fall, right? Letting yourself know that it's okay to open yourself up, right? To be vulnerable, to allow others to see your perspective, to allow others to see your worldview, right? To allow others to see your vision in which they can help you expand, right? And bring that vision to reality, right? Because no one can help you bring your vision to reality if they have no idea what that looks like, right? If they have no sense of what that feels like, or they have no sense of your perception, right? You kind of have to let yourself be known in order for other people to know who you are, right? So again, like stepping out of this space of self-sabotage, remaining in this hermit energy in this season, right? There's a time and a place for everything, right? You had a season to be in the hermit, and now this season that you're stepping into is calling you to come out of that place of hermit, right? It almost speaks to the way the seasons have kind of transformed, right? We're now in the season of spring, where things are coming out of the ground, right? They're no longer in the place of dormancy, right? They're no longer in that place of having to protect themselves from the cold, right? Because the sun is coming out, right? And so if you maintain underground in that space, it's almost as if you're like burying yourself instead of allowing yourself the space to grow to the potential in which you have inside of you, right? One card for the new cycles and habits you can innovate to contribute to our growth and expansion. There's so much coming through that I hope that you're like, that I hope that it's clear. So you have shame and storms, right? So again, coming out of that space of feeling shame for the things that you have experienced, feeling shame for the path that you have or the journey that you have taken to get to where you are today, right? You don't have to hide those aspects, right? Those are things that have helped to build you up. Those are experiences that have helped to propel you forward to where it is that you're going, right? You had to kind of experience those things in order to reach the level of success in which you're desiring, right? And so again, transforming that energy, transmuting that energy, right? Because usually storms come through to clarify, storms come through to purify, right? To cleanse, to remove those negative things and to bring out new life that was buried underneath. So use that energy to your advantage, right? Use this frequency to your advantage to expand in the way in which you are desiring to achieve that abundance and that wealth, right? Use these new connections that are coming in for you to your benefit, right? Let them help you. Be a blessing to them as they will be a blessing to you, right? They will help you to see areas in which you are stuck. They will help you to see areas in which you can grow and expand. And they will help you to protect your weak spots, right? You may not be aware of some of your vulnerable spots, right? But allowing yourself around other people who are just as protected, just as strong, just as courageous, right? Just as abundant, blessed, right, will allow them to be a protection to you the same way you are a protection to them, right? That will help you to maintain a sense of security in yourself the same way you will do for them, right? But that is the message that I have for you guys. I hope that it resonated. I know that if you made it to the end of this video, you have found something in it that is worthy and valuable to you. Please don't forget to hit that like button, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye.